Alright, so in this problem, I have x to the power of 21 plus x to the power of 14 is equal to 36. So I'm first going to rewrite this as x to the power of 7 times 3 plus x to the power of 7 times 2 is equal to 36. Now, I'm going to put this as x to the power of 7 to the power of 3 plus x to the power of 7 to the power of 2 is equal to 36. Now I can let x to the power of 7 equal to the variable y. So now I have y to the power of 3 plus y squared is equal to 36. Now if I subtract 36 on both sides, these two cancel out, and I get y to the power of 3 plus y squared minus 36 is equal to 0. Now negative 36, I can rewrite this as negative 27 minus 9. And now I can rewrite this as y to the power of 3 minus 3 to the power of 3 plus y squared minus 3 squared is equal to 0. So if I have something in the form a to the power of 3 minus b to the power of 3, this is equal to a minus b times a squared plus ab plus b squared. And if I have something in the form a squared minus b squared, this is equal to a plus b times a minus b. So in this case, I can rewrite y to the power of 3 minus 3 to the power of 3 as y minus 3 times y squared plus 3 squared plus 3y, plus I can rewrite y squared minus 3 squared as y plus 3 times y minus 3, and this is equal to 0. Now if I factor out y minus 3, I get y minus 3 times y squared plus 9 plus 3y plus y plus 3. This is equal to 0. And this simplifies into y minus 3 times y squared plus 4y plus 12 is equal to 0. So this gives me two equations. Y minus 3 is equal to 0, which means y equals 3. This is one solution. And y squared plus 4y plus 12 is equal to 0. So to solve this, we have to use the quadratic formula, which is negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. And I'm not going to waste your time actually plugging them in, but if you do, you end up getting that it's less than 0, so this won't work out. So y equals 3 is my only solution to this equation. Now remember how we let x to the power of 7 equal y. So now I have x to the power of 7 equal 3, meaning x is equal to the 7th root of 3. Alright, so in this problem, I have x to the power of 6 minus x to the power of 3 is equal to 2. So I'm going to first start by subtracting 2 on both sides. So now I have x to the power of 6 minus x to the power of 3 minus 2 is equal to 0. Now I'm going to rewrite x to the power of 6 as x to the power of 3 squared. Now I have this minus x to the power of 3 minus 2 is equal to 0. Now I'm going to let x to the power of 3 equal to the variable y. So now if I substitute in x to the power of 3 for y, y for x to the power of 3, I get y squared minus y minus 2 is equal to 0. So now I'm going to factor this by rewriting this as y squared minus 2y plus y minus 2 is equal to 0. Now I'm going to factor by grouping, so I have y times y minus 2 plus 1 times y minus 2 is equal to 0. So now if I factor out y minus 2, I get y minus 2 times y plus 1 is equal to 0. So this gives me two equations. Y minus 2 is equal to 0 and y plus 1 is equal to 0. For y minus 2 equals 0, y equals 2, and for y plus 1 equals 0, y equals negative 1. Now remember how we let x to the power of 3 equal y. So now I have x to the power of 3 is equal to 2, and x to the power of 3 is equal to negative 1. So for x to the power of 3 equals 2, I can simply take the cube root on both sides. So now I have x is equal to the cube root of 2. And for x to the power of 3 equals negative 1, again, I'm going to take the cube root on both sides, so I get x is equal to the cube root of negative 1, and the cube root of negative 1 is simply negative 1. So I have x is equal to negative 1. So these are my two solutions to this problem. Alright, so in this problem, I have 2 to the power of 3x plus 2 to the power of x is equal to 10. So to solve this, first off, if I have something in the form a to the power of m times n, this is the same thing as a to the power of m to the power of n. So 2 to the power of 3x I can rewrite as 2 to the power of x to the power of 3. So I have this plus 2 to the power of x is equal to 10. Now I'm going to let 2 to the power of x equal to the variable y. So I have y to the power of 3 plus y is equal to 10. Now if I subtract 10 on both sides, these two cancel out, and I get y to the power of 3 plus y minus 10 is equal to 0. Now I can rewrite y as 5y minus 4y. So I have this minus 10 is equal to 0. And now I'm going to switch these places and switch the order, sorry. So now I have y to the power of 3 minus 4y plus 5y minus 10 is equal to 0. Now from here, from y to the power of 3 minus 4y, I'm going to factor out y. So I get y times y squared minus 4 plus from 5y minus 10, I'm going to factor out 5. So I'll get 5 times y minus 2 is equal to 0. Now y squared minus 4, that's the same thing as y plus 2 times y minus 2. Now I have this plus 5 times y minus 2 is equal to 0. And now if I factor out y minus 2 from this, I get y minus 2 times y plus 2 plus 5. This is equal to 0. Now this is the same thing as y minus 2 times y squared plus 2y plus 5 is equal to 0. So now this is going to give me two equations. I get y minus 2 is equal to 0, and y squared plus 2y plus 5 is equal to 0. So for y minus 2 equals 0, y is equal to 2, obviously. And for y squared plus 2y plus 5 equals 0, we are going to use the quadratic formula. And I'm actually not going to waste your guys' time by plugging everything in and solving it. But if you do end up doing it, you get that there is no solution because it's going to be the square root of a negative number. So y equals 2 is my only solution for y. Now remember how we set 2 to the power of x equal to y. So now I have 2 to the power of x is equal to 2, and 2 to the power of what is equal to itself? 1. So my solution is x equals 1. Alright, so in this video, I'm going to be solving the equation 8 to the power of x is equal to 80. So my only variable in this equation is x, so that's what I'm going to be solving for. And now for my solution. I'm going to rewrite my equation here. 8 to the power of x is equal to 80. And now, my first step to solving this problem is rewriting 80 as 8 times 10. So now I get 8 to the power of x is equal to 8 times 10. And now I can go ahead and divide both sides by 8. So then these two cancel out, and I get 8 to the power of x over 8 is equal to, all that's left here is 10. Now, if I have something in the form a to the power of m over a to the power of n, this is equal to a to the power of m minus n. So a to the power of x over 8, well, 8 is the same thing as a to the power of 1. And a to the power of x over a to the power of 1, by using this property, is going to equal a to the power of x minus 1. And this is equal to 10. Now from here, I'm going to take the log on both sides. So I get log of 8 to the power of x minus 1 is equal to log of 10. And the reason I took the log on both sides is because now I can use the property that states that if I have something in the form log a to the power of b, I can move this exponent b to the front, so this can equal b times log a. So log a to the power of x minus 1, I can move x minus 1 to the front, and I get x minus 1 times log 8 is equal to log 10. And this property is really important because before, x was an exponent, and it's really hard to solve an exponential equation, but now we moved x, and now it's a real term, and it's much simpler to solve. So now what I'm going to do is distribute my log x here. So now I get x times log x, or log 8, which is equal to x times log 8, minus 1 times log 8, which is just log 8, is equal to log 10. And now I'm going to add log 8 on both sides. So then these two cancel out, and I get x times log 8 is equal to log 10 plus log 8. And now we want to isolate x, so what I'm going to do is get rid of this log 8 by dividing both sides by log 8. So then these two cancel out, and I'll be left with x is equal to log 10 plus log 8 over log 8. Now log 10, that's equal to 1, if you guys already know. So I get x is equal to 1 plus log 8 over log 8. Now, this is the same thing as 1 over log 8 plus log 8 over log 8. And log 8 and log 8, these two cancel out, so I'm left with x is equal to 1 over log 8 plus 1. And log 8 is equal to 0.9031. So I get x is equal to 1 over 0.9031 plus 1. And 1 over 0.9031 is equal to 1.1073, and this plus 1 is equal to 2.1073. So this is my answer.